For decades, the global order seemed set. Alliances forged, trade routes established, and geopolitical alignments understood. But what happens when those sands begin to shift? When historical partners drift apart and old adversaries find new common ground? We are about to witness a seismic shift in the strategic landscape of South Asia, driven by economic pressures, military realities, and the insatiable quest for resources. The much-advertised US-India strategic partnership, once a cornerstone of American foreign policy in Asia, began to fray significantly in the Trump era. While initial rhetoric focused on shared democratic values and countering China, economic realities and differing national interests soon took precedence. By 2025, the relationship had deteriorated to a point where punitive tariffs became the norm. President Trump's administration, driven by an America First policy, viewed India's continued purchase of discounted Russian oil and its protectionist trade policies as direct affronts. The tariffs, particularly impacting India's labor-intensive export sectors, were not just economic measures. They were a clear message of displeasure, signaling a diminishing strategic priority for Washington. As U.S. relations soured, India found itself increasingly isolated on the global stage, turning further towards its long-standing strategic partner, Russia. This pivot was not just about discounted oil, it was about securing military hardware, diplomatic backing, and a counterweight to perceived Western pressures. This strategic realignment, however, had unforeseen and devastating consequences. In May 2025, long-simmering tensions between India and Pakistan erupted into a full-scale conflict, catching many by surprise. What was expected to be a swift Indian victory, given its larger military and economic might, turned into a stunning defeat. Strategic blunders, logistical failures, and a highly motivated, well-prepared Pakistani defense force, utilizing advanced, recently acquired military intelligence and equipment, led to India suffering significant military losses, including the loss of Rafale fighter jets, destruction of its S-400 air defense system, and a demoralizing blow to its national pride. The May 2025 war was a brutal awakening for Washington. President Trump, who had consistently viewed India as a potential bulwark against China and a growing economic partner, was forced to confront a stark new reality. The horse he had been backing, or at least attempting to steer, had stumbled spectacularly. The perceived invincibility of India was shattered, and with it, the strategic calculus of the region. Suddenly, Pakistan, which had been offered a significantly more favorable tariff rate of 19% on most goods by the Trump administration in previous years, a stark contrast to India's crippling tariffs, began to look like the more stable and strategically valuable partner. The Trump administration realized they had been relying on a lost horse in India while overlooking the potential of a nation that had just demonstrated surprising military resilience. But the pivot towards Pakistan wasn't solely about military strategy. A series of groundbreaking geological surveys, quietly conducted in the years prior, began to yield astonishing results. Pakistan, long considered resource poor, was revealed to possess vast, untapped reserves of crucial minerals, rare earths, copper, and gold, alongside significant new oil and natural gas fields, sort of copper and indepasted, particularly in Balochistan and offshore. For a U.S. administration increasingly focused on energy independence and securing critical raw materials, this was a game changer. Suddenly, Pakistan wasn't just a military ally, it was a potential gold mine. American energy and mining giants, sensing immense opportunities, swiftly began negotiations for large-scale investments. The prospect of stable access to these resources, free from the geopolitical complexities of other regions, made Pakistan an irresistible prospect for Washington. With the military landscape altered and economic incentives soaring, President Trump's rhetoric and policy towards Pakistan underwent a dramatic transformation. From veiled criticisms, the tone shifted to open praise. The White House began actively promoting Pakistan as a reliable strategic partner and a burgeoning economic hub. Meanwhile, India found itself in an increasingly precarious position. Its military defeat, coupled with the ongoing punitive tariffs and the U.S. pivot to Pakistan, left it diplomatically isolated and economically vulnerable. The reliance on Russia, while offering some stability, could not fully compensate for the loss of Western markets and technological partnership. According to experts, India's miscalculation on the battlefield and its stubbornness on trade issues created a vacuum. a vacuum that Pakistan, with its newfound resources and strategic agility, was more than happy to fill. This isn't just a regional shift, it's a global one, altering the balance of power in Asia. The US-Pakistan renewal of ties also had profound implications for the wider region. China, a long-standing ally of Pakistan, now saw an opportunity to further integrate its Belt and Road Initiative, with US investment potentially augmenting the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. In Afghanistan, Pakistan's enhanced standing gave it greater leverage in regional peace efforts, with the US now actively seeking its cooperation. The stability offered by a resource-rich, militarily capable, and US-backed Pakistan promised a new dynamic for Central and South Asia, reshaping trade routes and security architectures. The global supply chains that had once favored India began to pivot towards Pakistan, drawn by lower tariffs and a more welcoming investment climate. This wasn't just a shift in trade, it was a recalibration of global economic influence. The events of May 2025, coupled with the dramatic resource discoveries, fundamentally reconfigured the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. The US, under President Trump, had decisively shifted its allegiances, seeking pragmatic partnerships based on immediate economic and strategic gains. This new equilibrium, while challenging for some, offered unprecedented opportunities for others. Pakistan, once a nation battling perceptions and economic struggles, emerged as a linchpin in a new, resource-entwined, and strategically vital future. India, meanwhile, faced the daunting task of reevaluating its alliances and charting a new course in a world that had seemingly left it behind. The story of the US, India, and Pakistan in the mid-2022 serves as a powerful reminder that in international relations, nothing is truly permanent. Alliances can unravel, fortunes can reverse, and the pursuit of national interest can lead to the most unexpected realignments. The shifting sands of South Asia have indeed created a new order, one that will undoubtedly shape the course of the 21st century.